Plastic. Plastic pollution has become one of the most serious environmental issues as the world's ability to cope with the rapidly increasing manufacturing of throwaway plastic products outspaces its ability to deal with them. Half of all plastics ever manufactured have been made in the last 15 years. Production increased exponentially from 2.3 million tons in 1950 to 448 million tons by 2015. Production is expected to double by 2050. Every year, about 8 million tons of plastic waste escapes into the ocean from coastal nations. In year 2021 study determined that 44% of plastic debris in rivers, oceans, and shorelines was made out of bags, bottles, and items related to take-out meals. If current trends continues, our ocean could contain more plastic than fish by 2050. The global volume of plastic waste continues to grow. Some of the biggest producers do not manage their waste effectively, leading to large-scale plastic pollution worldwide. This documentary will provide you with all the information that you need to know regarding plastic pollution. Open your eyes and look at what plastics have done to the world.
Plastic is made out of synthetic or semi-synthetic polymers, and it is known for its plasticity or the ability to deform and to be molded into various shapes without breaking. Polyethylene terephthalate (PET) and polyvinyl chloride are the two examples of plastic. Plastic is used to produce various products such as water bottles and food packaging that we use daily. So how do plastic harm the environment? Plastic has a long decomposition time, usually up to hundreds of years, and it releases toxic byproducts during decomposition. Apart from that, plastic is also mistakenly ingested by wildlife, and this leads to impaired movement, reduced reproductivity, and even death. Tiny fragments of plastic on the surface of the ocean also facilitate the transport of invasive species from water to land.
Microplastics are tiny plastic particles that are less than 5 mm long and result from commercial product development such as cosmetics and microfiber shaped from clothing and other textiles. Microplastics also result from the breakdown of larger plastic items such as water bottles. This breakdown is caused by exposure to environmental factors, mainly the sun's radiation. Have you ever wondered how plastics become microplastics? This is the answer. When larger pieces of plastic waste are disposed of in the environment, they get weathered and degrade. These larger pieces of plastic break down into smaller and smaller pieces and are eventually reduced to microplastic particles. How can microplastic be more harmful compared to large plastics? Large plastic can pose a threat to whales, dolphins, turtles, and other animals. But microplastic can penetrate a lot of ecosystems because of their size. Microplastic can be mistaken for food and can work their way through the food chain, which eventually impacts the entire food chain. Recent research has shown that microplastics are an issue in marine and terrestrial environments.
There are three ways plastic get into the sea, which is first is litter. Plastic bottle and packaging litter on our street and beach can be blown into drain or river and flow into the ocean. The second is down the plug hole. Everything from the microbeads in our toothpaste to synthetic clothing fiber that sheet in washing machine and wet wipe flushed down to the loo can end up flowing into the ocean. And the last is landfill. Mountains of plastic in open dump can be blown away and end up in the sea. The more plastic we produce, the more it ends up in our ocean. It flows in ocean current all across the world, so even uninhabited islands in the Pacific and Arctic are becoming dumping ground for the plastic.
Do you want to know the causes of plastic pollution? Let me explain this. First, burnt oil trash. Plastic is everywhere. Every time these plastic items get thrown away or washed down a stream, the toxic pollutants have more of a chance to enter the environment and do harm. Second, overuse. Plastic is cheap. It is one of the most widely available and always used items in the world today. When disposed of, it does not decompose easily and pollutes the land or air. Third, dispose of plastic and garbage. Burning plastic is toxic, can lead to harmful atmospheric conditions and deadly illness. Therefore, the landfill will never stop releasing the toxin in that area. Fourth, fishing nets. Nets used for certain large-scale trawling operations are usually made of plastic. Sometimes, fishing nets will get lost during the fishing activity and remain in the sea with all the adverse implied residue.
Impacts of plastic pollution on marine ecosystems. Plastic waste is littering our oceans and threatening the lives of millions of marine animals. Because of this lethal environmental hazard, seagulls, fish, crabs, and many other sea species are dying and becoming sick. Next, the impacts on food and human health. Microplastic and tiny plastic fibers have been found in honey, sugar, processed food, salt, detergent, and tap water. Moreover, when plastic ends up in the environment, it tends to attach to environmental pollutants. The toxic chemicals leach out of plastic and are detected in practically everyone's blood and tissue. Exposure to them is linked to cancers, birth abnormalities, weakened immunity, and other ailments. Next, the impacts on tourism. The improper disposal of plastic is making destination less attractive. This litter and pollution can also have detrimental effects on local people and wildlife. This problem will cause the number of domestic tourists traveling to the local city to drop. Last but not least, the impacts on climate change. Plastic pollution contributes to greenhouse gas emission and extreme weather events like flood and typhoons, which are linked to a warming globe. The melting of sea ice due to climate change has also been linked to an increase of plastic pollution.
There are many ways to prevent or reduce plastic pollution. First, reduce the use of single-use plastic. Include plastic bag, water bottle, straw, cups, and take-out containers that are used once and discharged. Second, reuse and recycle plastic properly. Reusing and recycling help to keep plastic out of the ocean and reduce the amount of new plastic in circulation. Third, support bans. Many municipalities around the world have enacted bans and restrictions on single-use plastic products. We may support the adoption of such policy in the community to limit the use of plastic. Next, avoid products containing microbeads. Tiny plastic particles called microbeads have become a growing source of plastic pollution in recent years that found in some face scrub, toothpaste, and body washes. It causes ocean plastic pollution and affects hundreds of marine species. Always check product ingredient list, avoid polyethylene, polypropylene, polyethylene terephthalate, and instead opt for natural biodegradable ingredients like grains, groundnut shell, and salt and sugar crystals. Lastly, organize awareness campaign to raise awareness of the community about the plastic pollution and encourage community members to reduce the use of plastic.
Plastics are made to make it easier for humans, but excessive plastic usage does not cause unfavorable outcomes. Plastic pollution is the primary effect of excessive plastic consumption. This type of pollution has very severe impact on the environment, humans, and especially on marine life. Reducing the use of plastic plays a significant role to preserve our nature because plastic production requires an enormous amount of energy and resources. This issue causes the sea pollution and excessive carbon emission that contribute to global warming. We should start reusing plastic instead of recycling since it is more efficient. Let's ensure that we are responsible consumers to bequeath a better environment for our grandchildren.